Hey, what's up Trailblazers? This is Caleb, and let's talk about Imbibitor Lunae today. In particular, I want to talk about his skill point management. There has been some concerns that he's hard to use because he's very skill point hungry. I also thought this way at first, but when I analyzed Lunae more in depth, I discovered that it's not too bad, and I'll tell you why in this video. First, let's do a very quick overview of Lunae's gameplay. His core mechanic is using skill points to enhance his basic attack, up to 3 times. When his basic is enhanced 3 times, it deals a massive amount of damage to the primary target and a moderate amount of damage to adjacent targets. His ultimate also does a moderate amount of blast damage, but additionally, his ultimate gives him 2 stacks of Squama Sacrosancta, which you can think of as special skill points that only Lunae can use. His talent gives him more damage, and his technique allows him to enter battle with 1 special skill point. The way you play Lunae is super easy. Every time it's his turn, enhance his basic attack as much as possible. When his ultimate is up, you want to use it as soon as you get it. So it seems like Lunae requires 3 skill points every rotation, right? The answer is actually no, because his ultimate generates special skill points which can be used to enhance his basic attack. If Lunae is on a team by himself, he's able to use his ultimate every 4 enhanced basic attacks. 4 enhanced basic attacks cost 12 skill points, but his ultimate is able to generate 2 of them. So Lunae requires 10 skill points for 4 attacks, or 2.5 skill points per rotation. What if Tingyun is on your team? This is where I want to apologize for an error in my summon guide where I said Yukong is Lunae's best friend. Yukong is very good with Lunae, but Tingyun is actually the real best friend. Tingyun's ultimate gives Lunae 50 energy, or 60 energy at E6. This means with Tingyun's ult, Lunae can use his ultimate every 3 enhanced attacks, which means Lunae's skill point requirement drops down to 2.3 skill points per rotation. If Tingyun is E6 and also super fast, Lunae can use his ultimate every 2 enhanced attacks. This further drops his skill point requirement to 2 skill points per rotation. So let's summarize Lunae's skill point requirements. If he's not on a team with Tingyun, he requires 2.5 skill points per rotation. If he's with the E0 Tingyun, he requires 2.3 skill points per rotation. And lastly, if he's with a very fast E6 Tingyun, he requires 2 skill points per rotation. You can see that Lunae is much easier to build around than what the community initially thought. What does this mean for Lunae's team comps? To start off, you want to use a skill point generating solo sustain support. Luocha is the best choice for this. Secondly, you want to pick either Tingyun or Pela. Tingyun because of the skill point synergies I just talked about, but if you don't have Tingyun or you're using Tingyun on a different team, Pela is the next best choice. And that's because she is 100% skill point positive. You don't want to use both Tingyun and Pela on the same team because you'll actually end up with too many skill points. Tingyun and Pela together are not terrible, but there are better options for more damage. The third option in your team comp is flexible. The main requirement is that they are skill point neutral, so you want somebody that can alternate between using basic attack and their skill. Yukong, Bronya, Silverwolf are great choices for this. Let's look at the example team comp of Luocha, Tingyun, Yukong, and Lunae. Assuming everyone is roughly the same speed, Luocha generates 1 skill point per rotation, Tingyun generates 0.5, and Yukong is neutral at 0. Lunae requires 2.3 skill points per rotation, so you're operating at a 0.8 skill point deficit per rotation. This is not a big deal. You start each battle with 3 skill points in the bank and 1 Squama stack if you use Lunae's technique. These 4 skill points allow you to run on a 0.8 deficit for 5 rotations. After which, you might have to use Yukong's basic attack more or occasionally not fully enhance Lunae's attack. Notice how in this scenario, the assumption is that everyone is at equal speed. But in reality, your Luocha and Tingyun will often be faster than your Lunae, especially if you're running attack boots. If Luocha is at 150 speed and Lunae is at 100, Luocha is actually generating 1.5 skill points per rotation. This lowers the skill point deficit to 0.3 and allows your team to use their optimal rotation for much longer. This brings me to my final point, which is that attack boots are better for Lunae than speed boots. You want your Lunae to be slower than the rest of your team for easier skill point management. It allows your supports to be a little bit more greedy with their buffs. This is especially true with Bronya, when you want to sneak in that extra use of skill. Today's video is a little bit more dense than my usual videos, hope you didn't mind that. The TLDR is put Tingyun on your Lunae team and use attack boots. Thanks for watching and see you next time.